Holy moly, the floodgates have opened because we now have the first wave of the brand new Masters of the Universe Chronicles toy line fully revealed. At least it seems so. So we've got a really good look at what the toy line for the upcoming movie is gonna look like, and it also kind of spoils some characters that we haven't even seen in the trailer yet, or at least didn't get good looks at in the trailer. So I guess this is kind of a spoilery video if you're worried about that sort of thing, but these were all officially revealed. This was an exclusive through Entertainment Weekly, so I am gonna link to that in the video description. They are the source of all of the photos and the information that we're talking about. Man, I wasn't expecting this stuff to drop so fast, but this is the way it works. You got a big movie coming out. Of course, they're gonna partner with these big news outlets just to really trickle out all of these big news drops because they want this to get mainstream attention going into this film. So we're getting ready to go into New York Toy Fair in just a few short weeks, but thanks to Entertainment Weekly, we now have some official press photos of all of these figures. It's funny, actually, as I'm preparing the video, I got an official press release from Mattel, so I do want to read this real quick as well. It says, the Chronicles assortment showcases the most screen-accurate character likenesses to date, complete with signature accessories and premium packaging that brings the franchise's bold, modern vision to life. Product will start hitting shelves at retailers globally on April 25th and continue to roll out through 2026. The Chronicles assortment includes He-Man, Skeletor, Teela, Evil-Lyn, Man-at-Arms, Tri-Klops, Trapjaw. So there's the official word from Mattel before we get into this. So we talked about two figures already the other day. If you didn't see that, we revealed Alison Brie's Evil-Lyn action figure and Idris Elba's Man-at-Arms figure. These were both seen at the Nuremberg Toy Fair just a couple days ago, and it appears that these are part of a brand new toy line called Masters of the Universe Chronicles. It was said that this toy line is going to be a little smaller in scale compared to the current Masterverse toy line. This is what was being reported on by people that were there in Nuremberg at that toy fair. The Masterverse toy line typically stands around 7 inches tall. It looks like these new Masters of the Universe Chronicles figures are more in the 6-inch scale. It's also worth noting that it does seem like these have some all-new articulation. In the video where I was kind of looking over the Man-at-Arms and the Evil-Lyn, I was pointing out all of the joints seem to be pinless. We got the double joints in the elbows and the knees, but some other reports from Nuremberg were coming out also saying that they had some really great like butterfly joints so that the arms could really move forward and everything, and that the articulation seemed very fluid on them. So I'm excited to get a closer look at that. Hopefully we'll get to see those at Toy Fair. I don't know if we'll be able to get hands-on, but I would love to actually explore the articulation so that we know what to expect with those. So it really seems like this is like a full-on new toy line here. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the figures that have been revealed. So let's just go ahead and start with He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. So this is one of the figures that was actually shown on the back of the packaging when Man-at-Arms and Evil-Lyn were revealed, but I didn't want to comment on that at the time because I wanted official pictures. Now we have official pictures. The He-Man figure, honestly, I think looks great as far as it being a movie action figure. The likeness seems pretty good. You can get a really good look at that movie version of the He-Man outfit there. The loincloth, the harness, the power sword looks really cool. But I think what I like even more than just the standard He-Man picture is this amazing shot of him on Battle Cat. We haven't even seen Battle Cat fully armored up yet in the trailer. So this is our first look, as far as I know, at Battle Cat wearing his armor, and it looks good. The helmet actually looks a lot like what we saw for the Revelation type Battle Cat design. It reminds me of like that first Masterverse Battle Cat, but still has that very classic Battle Cat look to it. The maroon armor, the green cat with the yellow stripes. The articulation looks really great on there as well. And He-Man looks awesome riding on his back. I am so excited. Battle Cat's one of my favorites. I love Battle Cat. Always happy to get a new Battle Cat toy. So he looks really good, in my opinion. We've also got a shot of him without the armor. This is, I guess, effectively our Cringer. This is what we see in the trailer most of the time. And I love the face sculpt on there because he really has that great face. Like, I commented on the face in the trailer, how it reminded me so much of the old Rudy Obrero artwork on the vintage toy packaging. And I can kind of see that reflected here in the facial sculpt on this toy. So I like what I'm seeing here so far. How about you guys? Feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. You're definitely going to do that regardless, but always got to call that out there. Okay, so let's get on to some other new figures. So we've got our Teela action figure. Of course, one of the main characters in the movie. It's great to get her movie look in action figure form. And again, she looks great. She looks like she does in the trailer there. One thing that I noticed that's really interesting to point out is we do have swappable heads here, at least with this Teela. I had wondered if we were going to get swappable heads and stuff with this toy line when I talked about Man-at-Arms and Evelyn, and it does appear like that is the case because there is a really great shot of actress Camila Mendes holding her Teela action figure in package. And when you look at the figure in the package, you'll notice that we've got a head with the hair down and a head with the hair up. So we've got two options there for her. Now, in the trailer, I believe most of the time we see her with the hair down. But I notice in this press photo, she has a much more classic Teela look. She's got her hair tied up in a bun, and she's got the little tiara on her head. I just gotta comment on how much I think these movie costume designs did such a good job of really pulling inspiration from the original designs of these characters. Sure, Teela's wearing pants now, but this still looks like Teela, at least to me. Like the core elements of her outfit are here with the gold and the white and the bun in the hair and the tiara, and she's got the red hair. The figure looks pretty good. She's got a long rifle as well as a holstered pistol, it looks like. Blaster. I don't know what it is, a blaster or a pistol, holstered at her side there. So she's got both of those gun options. So pretty cool. That's our Teela. Next up, we're going to talk about Tri-Klops, because this is another character that I don't believe was present in the trailer. I didn't notice him when I watched through it a whole bunch. So Tri-Klops' outfit here has a very 2000X inspired look to it. I'm specifically looking at like the loincloth piece there and the armor piece. He looks like he's got like a larger sniper rifle type weapon there, which is really interesting. I assume that the visor is going to rotate like we would expect it to. He also looks, he's skinnier. This is kind of bringing in like those human proportions I was talking about in the last video, right? Obviously, when we all think about Masters of the Universe toys, we think about big, buff, hulking dudes, right? And obviously, realistic human proportions, not quite like that. At least not every single person in the movie is apparently big and muscular. He still looks strong. He's just thinned down from some of the other Tri-Klopses we've had in the past. However, like in the 2000X series, again, still buff, but he was thinner, right? Tri-Klops was. He was sort of like the was he like the weapons expert? He was like the technician. He built things. So I wonder if that's the same kind of role that Tri-Klops will play here. And then we've got Skeletor. The Skeletor figure is really cool. I mean, just look at the blues and the purples and the yellow skull face. Like, they went for it. You know, I talked about in the trailer how it was clear that those were the colors, but it was obviously muted and everything. But look how bright and colorful the toy is. Holy cow. So I'm looking at this thing and I'm wondering if the hood and the cape are both soft goods with wires in them. It's really hard to tell because they look very plasticky in these photos, but you've got the one photo where the hood looks straight, like a nice straight across, and the cape is kind of sticking straight down. But you've got that other shot where he's holding the Havoc staff above his head, and there are different wrinkles in the hood around his face, and the cape is billowing out. So that leads me to believe that this is like full-on soft goods, and I don't know if we've had a soft goods hood on a Skeletor figure since Laser Light Skeletor back in the 80s. Am I wrong about that? There might have been another, but this is a really uncommon thing. Normally, Skeletor's hood is plastic and part of the head sculpt, so it looks like there's a good chance this might be soft goods and it might have a wire in it so you can kind of bend it around. That is a very different thing for a Skeletor figure, but this is one of those things where I'm like anxious to get it in hand to see how good the soft goods are and how well that it poses and the wire and the cape and the hood and everything and how that looks. The photos look pretty good. But I'm excited to the real test is when we get these things in hand and we see how they play, right? They see how they pose. Okay, but the last thing we've got to talk about might be the sleeper hit, in my opinion. Look at this trap jaw. Like, holy cow, this trap jaw is kind of incredible. I really liked it. This is my favorite of all of the movie figures so far. Because first of all, you look at this, and it's like shocking that this is a movie design. Because that just looks like trap jaw. Like, that is stunning to me. Like, even looking at the face, he's got that very green zombified face. He's got the jaw, the robotic jaw. He's got the arm with the hook on it, and it looks like there's another shot of him with like a sword instead of the hook on the arm. He's a great looking figure. And again, the bright colors. He's got the blue and the red and the green. I'm not sure what's going on with that splatter effect. There is like a really harsh splatter effect that you can see on all the robotic pieces. Like, they might have went overboard with that. It looks a little bit too much. But aside from that nitpick, I think Trapjaw looks great. I think he is very cool looking. So that's another one where we only briefly saw Trapjaw in the trailer. We just saw the back of him. So this is awesome. I think he looks really, really cool. I don't know, man. To me, this is a really good start for what to expect from this new movie toy line. I think these look pretty cool. Now, this is certainly the collector's line, right? Like, these are highly detailed, fully articulated. So these are, the Chronicles line is like our new collector line, it looks like. I am still very curious what the kids' stuff is going to look like, because I think that's just as important, if not more important, right? Hopefully the kids line is going to have vehicles and play sets. Like, we got to have a Castle Grayskull. We got to have a Castle Grayskull. It's important. It's such a key piece to this story. We got to get a new Castle Grayskull toy. So hopefully Toy Fair will bring us some more news on the rest of that stuff. Hopefully we'll get hands-on with this. But I do want to bring this up too, because there was some information in here about pricing and everything. Now, first of all, I want to point out that they called Trapjaw Lockjaw in this article. And I'm really hoping that that is a mistake on Entertainment Weekly's part and that that is not the name of the character in the movie. I hope this wasn't like a weird thing where, like, for rights they had to change the name. I'm going to chalk this up to a mistake. That's Trapjaw to me, baby. That's still Trapjaw. But they did note that the figures, all of the figures in the line, are $24.99 and Battle Cat is $39.99. And these have a spring release. Spring 2026. Figures start rolling out April 25th and then throughout 2026. So maybe these aren't all the first wave, or maybe that just means there's other waves after it. But it looks like April is the official release date for these figures. We all know how that works. Like, sometimes that means these things are going to be hitting a little sooner. So these are coming in hot and heavy. It's pretty crazy. This MOTU news is just dropping. There's so much of it. So once again, I'm going to point out that I will be at New York Toy Fair in just a matter of weeks. It begins Saturday, February 14th and goes through the 17th. I know for sure that Mattel is doing a press event on Monday, the 16th. So I'll be there. I'll get my usual footage of everything that is on display. Hopefully we can get hands-on with some of the stuff. Hopefully we can get more information. I'm curious what Chronicles is. What does that mean for Masterverse? What does it mean for Origins? I'm going to ask the questions. Hopefully we get the answers. So now it's your turn. Sound off. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let's keep this discussion going. I have a feeling this is not the end of the MOTU news. There's going to be more on the way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, my friends.